The Canon 77D is one of the best DSLRs you can get nowadays, and in this video I'll explain why. We'll go through 7 pros and 3 cons the 77D offers. As you will see, whether you want to start vlogging, photography, or if you're a more experienced photographer and need a second camera, this might be just the right choice for you. Let's begin with the pros, and I have to start with this: the camera has good build quality and it handles well. The 77D is like a smaller version of the legendary Canon 80D. It has not one, but 2 control dials allowing you to make quick adjustments. In manual mode, these dials let you easily change the aperture and shutter speed settings. This is also a small DSLR, which makes it more portable, but it's designed in such a way that you'll find it comfortable to handle even if you have big hands. The buttons are well placed, right there where you need them, and the grip is generous enough. Even though the 77D is considered an entry-level camera, it doesn't feel like one. Its build quality is solid and it's a pleasure to use. Moving on to the second pro, the 2 screens. This camera has not one, but 2 screens, offering maximum flexibility. The main screen is fully articulated and touch-sensitive. For videographers shooting handheld footage, this screen is indispensable as it allows them to record from waist level comfortably for extended periods. Street photographers also benefit from this screen as it makes them much more discreet on the streets. They can look down at the camera, avoiding direct eye contact. Vertical videos and photos are also easy to capture thanks to this intelligent tilting mechanism. It is so useful that an entire video could be made about this screen. For vloggers, it's indispensable because they can see themselves while filming. But what sets the 77D apart from most aps-c sensor DSLRs is the second screen positioned on top. I wish every camera had something like this. You can easily see your settings without needing to fidget, look at the main screen, or use the viewfinder. Everything you need is right there. The second screen allows you to adjust your settings faster and focus on what's most important: capturing moments. The third pro, good autofocus. The Canon 77D, released in 2017, is modern enough to feature Canon's dual-pixel AF, an intelligent and extremely reliable focusing system. Dual-pixel AF kicks in when you raise the mirror and shoot while looking at the screen. Many people who haven't had the chance to use older cameras might think that all cameras focus this quickly in live view, but that's not true. A lot of DSLRs are slow and unreliable while trying to focus in live view. This is not the case for the 77D, since it has recent autofocus technology. When someone's on a budget and asks me what used camera to buy, the first thing that comes to mind is this: get a camera that has dual-pixel AF. The 77D has it, and it makes it much more reliable if you want to keep your face in focus while talking in front of the camera, or if you want to capture some B-roll or simply take photos without using the viewfinder. Speaking of the viewfinder, when you use it, you'll find out that the autofocus is just as reliable. It's quick, and I haven't noticed any significant differences compared to 77D's older brother, the 80D. The 77D is just as reliable as the 80D. The fourth pro, good image quality. When you combine great handling and autofocus, there's only one thing missing to create the perfect mix: good image quality, and the 77D delivers it. You have Canon's color science on your side and the 24-megapixel sensor, which is more than enough to allow for heavy cropping. The photos look fantastic, partially because the 77D is equipped with Canon's Digic 7 image processor, an improvement over the Digic 6 found in the 80D. What I like about Canon cameras is their ability to consistently produce excellent results with auto-white balance enabled. Even when shooting in different settings, the camera doesn't get confused or make images overly yellowish or greenish. For video, you get the same reliable performance. The camera records in full HD and the footage looks great. Color depth, dynamic range, and ISO performances are impressive. Compared to other aps-c sensor DSLRs released before 2018, the 77D easily ranks among the top options. Fifth pro, good connectivity. Vloggers and film enthusiasts will appreciate the ability to plug in an external microphone thanks to the built-in microphone port. And yes, the audio levels are checkable before pressing the record button. You can't see them when you're actually recording though. 3 additional ports are located under these flaps: a port for attaching a remote, an HDMI port, and an USB port. All of these are useful if you want to control the camera remotely, view your footage on a large screen, or transfer files. The perks don't end here. On this camera, the card and battery are not placed in the same compartment, and that's great. For quick access, the card has a separate compartment on the right side of the body. This makes it easy to change the card quickly, which is something you don't usually find on cheaper cameras. To further reiterate how modern this camera is, it also features Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and NFC. You can transfer files to your phone or control the camera via Canon's Camera Connect app. Moving on to the 6 Pro, the intelligent viewfinder. The 77D Viewfinder features a transparent LCD overlay that shows the AF points as well as different grids and icons. It is something special, a so-called hybrid optical viewfinder that gives a slight sense of using an electronic viewfinder. You can tell it's an LCD overlay because when the camera is turned off, everything disappears. This is useful because, for example, if you want a certain aspect ratio for your photo, you don't have to arrange your composition on the display. You can simply use the viewfinder. Here is the 3x2, 4x3, 16x9, and the 1x1 aspect ratio. It's very efficient. On top of that, the AF points are much more clearly defined, thanks to their outlines and the punchier contrast provided by the LCD overlay. My favorite part of this viewfinder is the electronic level. An electronic level is already visible on the fully articulating flip screen, a line that moves around and turns green when the camera is perfectly parallel to the ground. This is a very useful feature for shooting straight videos, but there's also an electronic level inside the viewfinder for photos. It reminds you to keep the camera straight if that's your intention, and it even works in portrait mode. It's so nice to have this feature in the viewfinder of a DSLR camera. I also appreciate how sensitive it is, even slight movements are immediately reflected. A lot of people take this feature for granted. Only mirrorless cameras and newer DSLRs have it. Thankfully, the 77D is a modern DSLR, so it helps you shoot straight photos. The 7 Pro, large lens variety. The decision to buy a camera greatly depends on how many lenses are compatible with it. If there are many lenses, it means that you can find plenty good options on the used market at affordable prices. Hear me out. For the Canon 77D, more than 330 compatible lenses were made. Crop sensor Canon DSLRs offer the greatest flexibility when it comes to lenses. No other camera system in the world provides access to more than 330 lenses, so you'll definitely find good glass for the 77D. These were the pros. Now let's also see the cons. First con, no weather sealing. This Canon camera offers almost all the benefits you'd want from a 2017 DSLR. The only thing that's missing is weather sealing. This feature was reserved for the more expensive DSLRs. A few raindrops probably won't harm it, but it's not recommended to stay out in the rain with the Canon 77D. The second con, average battery life. This camera doesn't support the large LPE6 batteries, instead it uses the LPE17 type. Being a smaller DSLR, it was given the smaller battery. However, this doesn't mean you can't take plenty of shots with the 77D. On a fully charged battery, it can take up to 600 photos, which is a decent performance. I always recommend having at least 2 batteries for every camera you own. The third con, no headphone port. This camera has all the ports you need, except the one to insert a headphone jack. This missing feature is important for monitoring audio if you're a filmmaker. For some people, it's crucial, but for me at least, the fact that you can see the audio levels on the camera's display and adjust them is enough. The 3 cons I've mentioned aren't major downsides. Basically, if it didn't have these 3 cons, the 77D would offer the same features as the Canon 80D. In conclusion, this is one of the best aps-c sensor DSLRs you can find on the used market today. It handles well, has good image quality, autofocus, and so much more. It remains a reliable camera even now, roughly 10 years after its official release. If you want to take photos or shoot videos, it comes highly recommended. If you enjoyed this video, press that like and that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next camera review. Take care, guys.